I'm here with John Battanti, and we are going to give our predictions for UFC 274 today. But before we do that, I want to be able to kind of go through some of the footage of these guys' past fights and not just tell you who we think is going to win, but, when, how, and why. But Cerrone fought Jim Miller. That's who he fought. That's probably the most similar style matchup, too. All these little exchanges you're going to see whenever Cerrone can get a little bit of space, he's going to fire a knee, a nice short knee right up the middle. And, man, they hurt. They look sneaky. They don't look like much, but they really kind of flatten your tires. So if he can get Joe flat by putting them knees in his gut, putting his knees in the belly, then he can start firing them leg kicks the way he does and really disrupting Joe Lauzon's kind of stand-up as well.
Yeah, his knee game is efficient in this fight. He was really.
But stylistically, there's so many good guys in the division. We got Joe Lauzon, he's kind of older. He's kind of our age. What we're all about, in between like 37 and 40, something like that. So we're considered the veterans of this division. So they're putting him against another veteran, not an up and coming guy. They're very familiar with each other's styles, and I think stylistically, this is kind of made for Cowboy to sing his song, say goodbye, and with a big win against a gritty veteran like Joe Lauzon. Could be wrong, but my prediction here is going to be that Cowboy pulls it off, and Cowboy got sneaky lead leg head kicks. Kind of everything Cowboy does with his hands is just a distraction for his leg kicks. For his head kicks.
Right.
So everything he's doing, these are just touches. His punches are he rarely ever knocks people out with punches. Everything is to set up his kicks. So
yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
What do you personally, where are you at with this one? Do you think Joe's able to kind of impose his will on?
It's a really tough read. I mean, Joe hasn't been in the octagon in a while. I think it's going on 4 years. 3 or 4. Wow. Yeah, it's been a while since he's been in the octagon. Donald's on a losing streak. I mean, he kind of resurged his career. He had a 3-fight win streak, and he KO'd like 2 young and upcomers.
A welterweight.
And then he went on the losing. Connor, he got knocked out quick by Connor, and since then I think it's 5 fights in a row. He hasn't looked great in there, but yeah, there's a like you said, set up and then head kick knockout. I think Donald wins the fight.
You think he gets it done?
I think he gets it done. I think his kickboxing is going to be too much. I think his striking all around is going to be a little too much.
Do you think we're going to decision? Usually when two gritty veterans, no?
I don't, but that's the thing. I don't know if based on Joe's last few fights before he took the break and Donald's fights, it looks like it's not going to go decision. I don't know if they're going to have the gas tank for it either.
Yeah. That's another huge factor is Joe hasn't been back in that octagon. He could have the octagon jitters all over again.
Oh wow.
You're not in there 4 years. I mean, it's a whole new dance. So I would say overall our prediction here is going to be Donald Cerrone TKO, maybe gets it done, maybe looses him up with a nice little lead leg head kick or something like that, and then finishes with some ground and pound like a TKO before the final bell. So we're gonna call it. That's gonna be our first prediction tonight. Moving right along, where we at? We got
co-main event: Rose, Namajunas, Carla, the Cookie Monster, Esparza.
Thug Rose. How long ago these two fight? How long back are we talking when these guys fought?
2015.
Oh man,
long ago. I think it's the first time, the first strawweight strap.
So Rose is a completely different fighter.
Yes.
The biggest thing that Rose has, and my coach Mark Henry loves her the most, is her feet. She has beautiful movement, great footwork, in and out, great feints. I'm coming. I'm like keeps her opponents guessing and guessing and guessing. Carla's just a grinder. These are complete opposite styles. Complete opposite styles.
She's she's straight relentless with takedowns. That's her style. Has her striking gotten better over the past since they fought? Sure, she's looked good at certain times. Carla looked amazing her last fight. She stopped the number 3 ranked girl, and she was an underdog.
So who did Carla just beat?
Yaonan John.
Okay. And she was number 3.
Yeah, Carla crushed her. Took her down, got her in a crucifix spot, and just teed off. The ref stopped it. I think the biggest thing for me is Carla's style, extremely wrestle heavy. Can she do that she's never gone 5 rounds. I don't think never. She's gone 15 and she looked good. She beat Marina Rodriguez with upset. And just was strong in the 3rd round. How can you do that against Rose though, with Rose's striking ability for 25 minutes?
You don't. So here's the thing about wrestling. If Carla's able to establish wrestling, like dominant wrestling quickly in the 1st round, Rose is not the same striker she is by round 3. Her legs are gone, her shoulders are tired. You're not dealing with the same striker. So that's why whenever I'm betting or whenever I'm thinking about who I'm going to pick, I always go with whoever has a distinct grappling advantage, because grappling in essence can, if I have great grappling, I could take away all the assets of a striker. And that's where someone like Carla Esparza can do well against someone like Rose, not because she's a better fighter, but tactically and strategically. If she puts a wrestling on her and forces her to wrestle early, she's going to take away Rose's biggest tools.
She's 100% going to try that. As we're clipping the first time they fought. Yeah, she's going to come out with that. So I guess from a betting aspect, would you agree the 1st round is going to be telling for?
We need to bet this live.
The whole fight, right? That's what I'm saying. Because if she can get her down early and look good and win round 1, that line's going to swing for the fight, probably even money. Rhodes is sitting about -200, -220. If Carla looks good the 1st round and wins, that's going to be about an even line, but it's going to be more telling because of what you just said.
How in the world does Mike Chandler come out as a -400? That's where I'm.
He honestly, it's funny you say that. He opened about -180, and I have my own little algorithm I run. And it was about dead right. I'm like, Chandler should be about -180. If you know anything about MMA, Chandler, even in his history, Chandler's not. He went the distance last time with Gaethje, but he's more of as a guy told me a couple months ago, a cheetah. So going against Ferguson, I'm like, man, what's this? And then the public just firing in. They think Tony's done, bro. That's it. He's looked bad. He's looked bad, but to me, this is a whole different style. Those were against elite grapplers. They just got, Oliveira, there's no shame. Oliveira is a champ. He's defended the belt twice. And Dariush, I went to see Dariush fight Islam. That was, I thought that would be a great fight, but I don't think this is going to be a grapple heavy fight. Do you like that?
This
against Chandler?
There won't be any grapple.
Oh, you think there'll be none? Right.
Well, I don't think there's going to be any grapple because I don't think Tony's not going to go for a takedown.
I don't think
Chandler,
so.
And Chandler's going to be more worried about Tony's submissions than anything.
Okay.
I think Chandler's looking at this like Gaethje kind of pieced him up, beat him up, pretty good, pretty handy in their fight, and I'm going to do the same. I don't think Chandler's going to attack. I think this fight stays standing up.
Yeah, I that makes me like Chandler. Chandler's very explosive though. He is. He's explosive in anything. His knockout punch, his takedowns, whatever he decides to do, he's explosive. Tony takes punches, man.
He does. But how do you feel about that -400? Are you still firing on Chandler at -400?
Absolutely not. I'm all over Ferguson. I bet Ferguson last week. I got +350 on him. I'm like, are people really forgetting this is the boogeyman? This guy, and he's got real heavy hands. People must have forgot. I don't know. And like you said, if this is going to be a striking battle, I really like Tony Ferguson to have moments and
that's where my mind's at. Chandler. 100% the way he did with Dan Hooker, where Dan Hooker came out a little bit hesitant and Chandler took advantage of that.
I agree.
I could picture that happening, right? I could picture that happening. There is I can see that very good. I don't see this fight going to the ground too much. I do see it staying on the feet, but where where I'm kind of confused here is Mike Chandler doesn't have good defense. When you talk about striking, pure striking, what is Tony's? What does he average significant strikes a fight? Where's he at? Is he in upper echelon, lower echelon? Where's he at?
He was at the top before the last 2 fights. Though he didn't really do much. He spent on the bottom, but no, his strikes per minute is very high.
Very high.
He's probably top 5 for his career for the division. Yeah, like just landing.
So
strikes per minute.
For him to win this fight, if he comes out as where he's throwing 6-7 significant strikes a minute per fight, where I guess where his old, then he wins. That's where I'm at. He's
you heard it.
He doesn't.
The underdog from the underground king, baby.
I do believe that. I don't. I'm not confident with Chandler. I'm not confident with Chandler being that heavy of a favorite either. I mean, I think in his career when he was the heavy favorite, he never did too well. He found him that Brent Primus.
Brent Primus. I remember that
a while back.
Yep.
He does better as the underdog. I think he thrives in that role. I don't think he's
okay.
With Tony, he's an awkward guy. He honestly, when you watch him from the outside, like I watch the TV, I go, man, this guy sucks. Like, but I know what it's like to see it from the outside and think, man, this guy sucks, and then be in there with him and feel that range and weirdness and angles. And then you're like, well, I'm getting chipped up here. I'm getting chipped up by this taller guy, lanky guy who has a little bit of power from the outside. So I could see Chandler getting chipped up if Tony decides he wants to be offensive with the teeth kicks up the middle to the gut and the little jabs and the straight.
Right.
Just keep it very technical, very fundamental. I could see, Tony kind of doing that. So Chandler was finished last fight, right?
No, he went the distance with Justin.
He went the distance.
Yeah.
And then the fight before that, he was finished, right?
Yeah, Charles got him. Yep, you're right.
So he got clipped pretty bad.
He
clipped a whole lot during Gaethje. So
clipped him too.
He's loosened up quite a bit.
Yeah.
A lot of him nor Tony can afford to take a lot more shots or be in a war during this fight in particular.
Right.
So what do you got?
Tony. I think Tony comes back. I think he pulls off this upset. I've looked like an idiot before taking underdogs, but
this is the dog to take.
I think it's 100%. This is the spot where you just have to. How can you not take
with that
just
line,
the name and everything?
Line.
Yeah, and if you know anything about the matchup and like with the styles, and this is a Tony Ferguson fight.
So I agree. I think that we're getting closer to a pick'em fight, and we're getting a real good line on Tony at plus 300. It should be closer to a pick'em. If not, Chandler should be a slight favorite, not nearly a minus 400.
Right.
So if you can get your picks in earlier than later, before the sharps get to this one.
Yeah. Totally.
Because they're gonna more than likely try to bury Tony at plus 300.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if this keeps going up. I mean,
so I'm gonna agree. We're gonna go Tony with this line. For sure. Yeah. This is a fist fight. Mike Chandler could put Tony's lights out in the first 2 minutes, pressures him, but this thing turns into a scrap and a fight. I think Tony's the pick to go here. We're not talking about the same fighter wrestling wise when we talk about Justin and Dustin. Justin's I believe he's an All-American.
He was, yeah.
He's a top level wrestler, and he knows how to scramble. He knows when he's in danger. I don't see Oliveira being able to take him down or manipulate him into a wrestling or grappling exchange. I think this fight's standing up.
That's a huge factor.
It's monstrous because you're starting to look at Justin Gaethje like he's going to smash him.
Yeah.
Right?
I am because as we saw, talked about how Justin's style has evolved in a sense to way more smarter, way more. Oliveira's going forward. He went forward every time. The last 3 fights, he doesn't stop. He's going to come right in the action. He starts opening up. And
what happened to Oliveira's last 2 fights?
He got dropped.
Both
of them.
Terribly, right?
Yeah, he was able to recover, and then he was able to find the wins. So he's got a ton of heart too.
And what happens when Justin Gaethje drops someone? They normally do not. That's it.
They normally don't.
He's a excellent finisher.
Yeah.
I think if Chandler knocked you down and Dustin Poirier knocked you down, I'm pretty much going to bet that Justin Gaethje is also going to put you down.
Mm-hmm.
Oliveira doesn't need to fight the way he fights. He puts himself in danger. He has a reach.
Mm-hmm.
He has a reach that where he can just stay outside, keep them kicks going,
Mm-hmm.
keep a long jab, and never have to be in danger. But he doesn't. It's that shoot box, I want to kill style, move forward, but it doesn't serve him. He's getting dropped because of that mentality.
Uh-huh.
So if his coaches could have him adjust and say, hey, we can be a little more technical here. We can stay on the outside and use that 6 foot frame,
Mm-hmm.
which is your biggest advantage, but he doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's going to be the downfall. And that's why I'm predicting that Justin Gaethje puts him out. He's going to put his lights out. I truly believe that. I don't see Gaethje getting submitted because I don't think Oliveira can manipulate him to put him in that position. Like as far as wrestling, I think this is going to be a stand-up fight. And because of that, Justin Gaethje by knockout. So we're going to recap. We're going number 1. We're going to go Donald Cerrone on the and before. I'm not going to say under 1.5, but I'm going to say before the final bell.
Mm-hmm.
Our next fight, what's that? Chandler Tony.
Yeah.
We're gonna go Tony Ferguson. We're gonna go with the dog.
What a parlay we're putting together for everybody. So we got Cowboy by finish. We got Tony outright plus 300. Go ahead.
Yep. Next we have we're gonna go Thug Rose. And then we're gonna go Justin Gaethje. And if you want to,
wow. Bottles on Eddie, everybody.
You want to put that
parlay in?
Yeah, you want to put that Justin Gaethje. You want to put that knockout in? I'd put it in.
Wow.
I'd put the KO in. Oliveira got damn near KO'd his last 2 fights. He's 2-2. He's what? 2-0. 2-0 his outings. 2-2. How do you call that?
2 for
2 for 2.
Yeah.
He's 2 for 2. Getting dropped really bad in title fights. So let's make it 3 and let's call Justin Gaethje our UFC world.
Yeah, I agree with it.